Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Four Downs, the NFL picks. I'm OV1, and Hector couldn't join me. He's on vacation. We'll definitely be back next week to make his picks, but I got his picks in, and surprisingly, and even though I've seen his picks, I make sure I did mine first before I got to see his and calculate everything. But we have a lot of difference this week, so this is either make it or break it for me. Am I gonna be like totally distanced away from Hector in the standings, or will I take over the lead? I mean, it's still a small margin between Hector and I, but we're gonna definitely see what's up. Who do you agree with, myself or Hector? As soon as I establish all our picks for this week. And yes, we have a Thursday night football. We have football on Saturday. We got football on Sunday, Sunday night, and Monday night football. And you know what? It was a treat to have two Monday night football games, and that may be something that should be done. And I'm agreeing with myself because I know I said it last week that I feel as though we should do away Thursday night football, right? And be able to have multiple games on Monday night. Okay. I like that whole idea of having it on one on ESPN and then the other one on ABC. That is pretty outstanding. And I think they should do it. And I think more games should be played because you still got ESPN 2. You got ESPN 3. All right. So why not? Why not have some more football on a Monday night than having this Thursday's games and trying to protect the players. Protect the players from their injuries. Let them get proper rest and let's do it. And of course, you know what? Thursday night football for Thanksgiving should be allowed. But I know it's a long shot because it's always about the money, right? They extended the games to 17. And then all of a sudden, we got a lot of Thursday games. And you know what? At the end of the day, look, we love football. But man, there's just too many injuries going on in the National Football League. And I wish that some way, somehow, we could try to reduce that. And if that is just moving these games to the weekends only, then so be it. But hey, let's go ahead and take a look at the AFC playoff standings right there. And I know I was ranting a little bit, but let's get back into the swing of things here. The Baltimore Ravens are the number one seed currently right now in the AFC, and Miami Dolphins 9-4, one game away. Kansas City, Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. There was a lineup, but a lot of that could change, especially when you have four teams outside looking in are having a 7-6 record. Houston, Denver, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. Listen, I thought that Cincinnati was done after Joe Burrow got hurt, but they seem to be winning down a winning streak. The Houston Texans, CJ Stroud might not be playing this weekend. And I'm really concerned because they listed him as doubtful. He still has to pass the concussion protocol. Now, he is a rookie, but I'm going to tell you right now, I will protect him because that is your franchise quarterback. The Denver Broncos got a hiccup a little bit, but they should bounce back. Buffalo's starting to get into the winning ways. And let's not talk about that offsides because I tell you what, the Chiefs did it to themselves. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. But the Steelers, I'm a little bit worried about because I don't like Trubisky. I don't trust him. But somehow Mike Tomlin knows how to win games when it matters the most. We're going to talk about that later on. All right, in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers clinched the playoff spot, 10-3. And I'm going to tell you right now, they look unstoppable. They're undefeated in their own division. They're only 8-1 in the conference. They look like they are the team to be in the Super Bowl. They are the favorites. The Dallas Cowboys, 10-3. I'll tell you what, temporarily, they're only a half a game in front of the Philadelphia Eagles. But if the Eagles play all their games in their division, I tell you what, when it's said and done, it is the Eagles that are in the number 2 spot because they have the best record in the conference. Right now, they're 3-1 in the NFC East compared to Dallas Cowboys 4-1. So if the Eagles win out and the Cowboys win out, that is a flip for the Eagles to finish on top of the Cowboys because of the tiebreaker. But as of right now, yes, the Cowboys are number 2. The Detroit Lions seem to go backwards. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that division, the NFC South, nobody knows who wants that division. Okay, I'm still picking the Atlanta Falcons to continue their struggles, but try to win so that they could win that division. All right, the Green Bay Packers, a little hiccup, losing to the Giants. They're 6-7. But look at all these 6-7 teams: the Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, and Saints. The NFC is not that spread out. So even the teams under the Saints, they still got a chance, especially my own New York Giants. All right. Listen, those are the standings. Which teams? And this is, like I said, December, it is make it or break it. And if you're hot in December, you're more likely going to just sneak right into the playoffs. But if you're already in the playoff contentions and you're still throwing, you're still hot, nothing's going to stop you like the 49ers. You're definitely going to make it. And that's a difference maker when I'm making my picks this week. So, without sitting down, let's get started with the very first game of week 15. And there's no other than the Chargers going on the road to Las Vegas to play against the Raiders. And man, listen, the game with the Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings, a 3-0 loss for the Raiders. You don't think that the coach is going to get on their players? And the Chargers only scoring 7 points. They lose to the Denver Broncos 24-7. Yikes. For the Raiders, they need to snap that 3-game winning streak. But for Denver, there's a little hiccup. I mean, I'm sorry, not for Denver. The Chargers, look, they beat New England 6-0. They lose 24-7. So if you calculate this, right? And their starting quarterback's probably not going to play because he's injured his throwing hand, right? Ouch. What is going on with the Chargers, man? Herbert's not playing. I don't know if the Raiders are going to make a decision on the quarterback because O'Connell, I don't know what's going to happen, but I tell you what, I'm still picking the Raiders, and so is Hector. Expect this game, both teams to scoring it out. I don't think it's going to be a low score game. I think there's going to be a shootout and finally be like, all right, these are the teams that we thought they could play, right? Both these teams are tied in 5-8. The loser will be in last place. And I'm telling you right now, man, the Chargers, their head coach, I've been saying it from the beginning. He's on the hot seat. He don't even know it yet. If you're not talking about it, talk about it now. I think this is his last season with the Chargers, especially it's the biggest disappointment for this team not being able, with all that talent, not be able to make it to the playoffs. All right, we have the Vikings and the Bengals. We just talked about the Vikings, right? They won 3-0. Man, I thought I was going to actually see the game go 0-0. I was hoping to be 0-0. I love to see history, even in the wrong way. But they sneaked in the win. But they're going to have quarterback Mullins to start for the Vikings this week. And the Bengals, they are having their backup quarterback starting Jake Browning because Joe Burrow is out for the season. So with that, and being that it's at Cincinnati, Bengals have won 2 straight against the Vikings. Okay. And then the Vikings offensive coordinator, I think he's be sober enough to actually, do something, do play calling or whatever, right? I know last weekend he got arrested for a DWI. I think he'd be sober enough for this one to do his thing. But it is the Bengals. I am picking the Bengals to win in Cincinnati. However, Hector decided to pick Minnesota. I don't know what he was thinking, but I tell you what, whatever explanation he has for me, the Vikings seem not to be in sync with whoever's the starting quarterback. And that offense is I don't know. The Vikings are just dealing with a lot of injuries, and I just don't think they got enough to handle it come this weekend. The Steelers versus the Colts. Yes. Actually, I think this is a Saturday game. Yes, that's a Saturday game, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Steelers, Losing to the Patriots, losing to the Cardinals. Ay, 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 what's going on over there? The Colts, they got a hiccup. They won 4 of the last 5 games, which is the last game Cincinnati took charge. They won. The Colts lost 34-14. But then again, the Bengals, they handling their business. And then the Steelers got Trubisky there. There seems like things are off going on with the Steelers. Talking about they weren't prepared last week or whatever it is. But Mike Tomlin's not the guy that's going to stay quiet. I think he's going to make a lot of noise in that locker room. I got a feeling that the Steelers are going to represent, and being that is against the Colts, the Steelers are 27-6 against the Colts. They have an 8-game winning streak on the line against the Colts. And even though Hector picked the Colts, I ain't picking the Steelers to snap out of this 2-game losing streak and definitely make things happen. All right, the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos and the Lions. Ooh, Hector picked the Lions. I don't know what he was thinking, but the Lions, they're not doing so great. No, their offense are like it seems like that power offense that we saw in the first half for some odd reason is just not clicking. But on the other side, the Broncos, who didn't have a successful first half of the season, with all the name calling, with all this stuff. Remember that time the Jets and the Broncos, the Jets celebrated like they won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. The same Broncos that gave up like 70 points, I guess, to the Miami Dolphins. This is not the same Denver Broncos right now. So all the embarrassment that they had to go through, okay? Sean Payton got this team to where it's supposed to be a winning team. He's earning his paycheck. And that's why I'm taking the Broncos on the road and upset Detroit Lions. Okay. And things gonna be interesting in the NFC North should Detroit lose. Okay. Should Detroit lose. It really is. And so therefore, knowing that the Broncos won 4 of the last 5 games, they could have beaten the Houston Texans. And I feel like in that game, the Broncos beat themselves. And that is why the Broncos are on the road and they're going to get this win. The Giants and the Saints. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid that these people are drinking over there. The New York Giants, my team, like it's unpredictable. They're 5-8, and it seems like they're hitting their stride, but we don't have our starters and we're winning. How could that possibly be? Yeah, we beat Washington. Yeah, we beat New England, but we beat Green Bay Packers? Are you serious? And we're doing it with DeVito? No one's even heard this guy. None whatsoever. It is, I find it out of the ordinary for the Giants to all of a sudden, and I'm not sold that we're going to the playoffs this year. I'm not. It'll be a miracle that the Giants win out. But the Giants' schedule is hard. But is it hard enough against the Saints? I mean, Sean Payton is not the head coach of the Saints. Okay. David Carr for the Saints is not playing MVP. I think now we know why he is not that guy and why the Raiders didn't want him anymore. Okay. And even if he was with the Raiders now, they still probably be subpar. Carr wasn't the answer. He is listed questionable along with Taysom Hill, Kendre Miller, Rashid Shaheed. They're all questionable. So we don't know exactly who's healthy, who's not for the Saints. I'm going for the New York Giants. And even Hector picked New Orleans. But I think the Giants are going to make it 4 in a row. Absolutely. And what does the Giants got to lose? Did you see that defense? They finally are hitting quarterbacks. Like they're actually playing defense. And if the defensive coordinator and the head coach are clashing, let them clash even more. Let them hate each other. Let them do something. Something's clicking to that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Just saying. I'm liking it. It's boring to watch, but they're scoring. They're doing something. You got to give it to them. The Giants ended up winning 24-22 against the Green Bay Packers. And that's okay. That's the second highest scoring so far this season. They got 31 against Washington. The Saints, they beat Carolina. But prior to that, they lost 3 in a row. Detroit, Atlanta, Minnesota. And that's why I say the Giants are going to win. All right, the Bears. Surprisingly, you know what? I doubted myself last week. I picked the Lions thinking that, you know what, they were doing great, but the Bears kind of like know how to play against Detroit. But what the Bears don't know, I mean, I know, you know, Justin Fields does not play good against the Browns defense. They don't. He doesn't. No. So yeah, so the Browns, they beat Jacksonville last week, but they lost to the Rams and the Broncos. But hey, those are good teams. But you're going against the Bears. Yeah, the Browns are going to win. Hector and I, we picked them. It's just he hasn't been successful. Fields has not been successful against the Brown defense. You could take it back 2021, throwing interceptions. I mean, even the Bears offense as a whole could not rush over 100 yards against the Browns. That's why I'm picking the Browns to win in Cleveland. All right, the Buccaneers versus the Packers. I don't know what to say about the Packers. They almost trying to make that comeback, scoring 9 points over there in the fourth quarter to get their way inch in there, right? But on the other side, the Buccaneers, they're in a survival mode. And I don't like the Buccaneers. I don't. Todd Bowles, I don't like him as a head coach. He wasn't successful with the Jets, and I predicted that the Buccaneers will finish under 500. And so far, they're proving it. But I didn't know that the rest of the division is trying to prove it that they could finish under 500 as well. Kind of crazy. Yet the Buccaneers could beat their own people in the conference, but they don't see how to win outside their conference. Yeah, they beat Tennessee, but Tennessee's not the same teams back then. They're winning now. So I'm picking the Packers. I think it was a fluke for the Packers to actually lose to the Giants. They were winning 3 in a row. They beat the Chiefs, the Lions, the Chargers. They were rolling. But Hector and I, you agree. We're taking Green Bay to beat the Bucks. The Texans. CJ Stroud, doubtful for this week. And if he's doubtful, I don't know. I would not put him to start. I wouldn't. It's okay to miss at least one game. Protect your quarterback. Protect your franchise quarterback. You're going against the Tennessee Titans. It's okay. It's okay. I think that it's all right for Houston to let them sit out for one more game and get them back. The most important part is getting them at 100%. Rushing them, you be looking like, what's his name? Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins last year, who they rushed him, got concussed again. You want to protect your quarterback, and I think they will. Now, Hector's picking the Texans, but I'm picking the Tennessee Titans in a small margin. In a very small margin. The game is at 2.5 favorite for Tennessee. I believe that this game is going to go down the wire to the last play. Who has the ball last, driving in? I can see a game-winning field goal to end this. But I'm taking Tennessee Titans. Hector's taking the Houston Texans. The Jets and the Dolphins. Speaking about the Dolphins, yeah. The schedule is a schedule, right? Miami is in first place. They're going to continue to win. There's nothing else I could say besides Dolphins just, I don't know. They screwed it up Monday night, losing 28-27. It is what it is. They can move on. They know how to win. They're going to take care of their business against the Jets. I'm probably going, I don't know. I think they're favorite 8.5. I might purposely put 13-point favorites. So I might change it and put 13 for the Dolphins. Get more money off that. Oh, yeah. Hector and I agree. Dolphins win. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Patriots. Wow, if you watched that game like I did, Tony, on the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Giants let him go. And every time I watch the Chiefs, I see Tony always making mistakes. But this time around, he doesn't know where he put his foot. That's an idiom, but for the Chiefs, it's reality. That's right. So, being that they're playing against the Patriots, I just don't see how the Patriots are going to win. I don't. I don't. And neither did Hector. And that is why we're picking the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the New England Patriots. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Big shout out to Hector Vasquez. Who would thought of Tampa Bay in first place? Yeah. LA Knight from WWE, right? Yeah. Who would have known? Right? But my boy Hector, I'm gonna tell you right now, Hector, when you come back and you start doing your calculations, you're gonna be like, oh my God, we got a lot of differences here. Absolutely. All right, but getting back on track here. The Kansas City Chiefs, you and I agree, will beat the New England Patriots. All right, moving on. The Falcons and the Panthers. I picked the Falcons to win the NFC South. I really did. And you know what? I'm not giving up. I am not. And Hector, he probably saw it how the Panthers continue to lose, lose, lose. They just don't have a formula to win, win, win. And that's why we're going for the Falcons. Go, go, go. Yeah. All right, the Washington Commanders and the LA Rams. I feel like this game is going to be a trap game. Now, Hector and I picked the Los Angeles Rams, but my gut tells me that there's something a little bit off on this one. Yes, the Rams are favored at 6.5, but it's just one of those games that you wouldn't expect it. The Washington Commanders 4-9, but they can still score. That's the whole point. Okay. They lost the game to Seattle 29-26. Yeah, they got beat up by Dallas and Miami back to back, but the Rams are not the Dolphins or the Cowboys, right? Somehow the Rams are beginning to win. They choked against Baltimore, but they beat Cleveland, Arizona, and Seattle. I got it. Okay. But then they end up losing to Green Bay. Remember, they lost to Green Bay 20-3 early November. That could be this type of game against Washington. I will be careful. If I'm betting, I'm staying away from this game. I really am. But I'm still going to go for the Rams. I don't know why. I'm talking about I should convince myself to change my pick, but I'm not. But just be careful. I would not touch this game if I'm betting. Just not going to do it. Not going to do it. The San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. Now, that one is a gimme. That one's a gimme. 13.5 points. Man, I want to tell you that I'm actually looking forward the 49ers to shut out the Arizona Cardinals. I really do. I don't know. It's just something about it. Kyler Murray's back, and he's not even the solution to their problems. That's a problem, a big problem. Yeah. All right. I'm passing on to that torch there, letting it go. The Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. Oh my God. All right. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. The Dallas Cowboys, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. All you fans out there, pump it. Press on it. Do something. You hear a squeak, you better like tune it up because I'm going to tell you right now, the Dallas run is going to freeze over in Buffalo. Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. And Hector agrees with me. Okay. I don't care what happened last week. Yeah. Yeah. The Bills should have lost. You're absolutely right. But they didn't. And I don't care. It doesn't matter anymore. The Bills, yeah, they lost by a field goal. It was a miscue because the Bills should have beaten the Eagles. It was a great game. And yeah, the Cowboys, yeah, they beat up on the Eagles. But the Eagles, they need that. They'll bounce back. But for the Bills, it's a must-win situation. I think that they're focused. They're in a playoff hunt. They know they got to win. And that's a difference maker between them and the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys got what it takes to beat the Bills. I really don't. Allen's going to do his thing. Prescott, look, I got it. The only way I say that the Cowboys could actually sneak by and win is if Allen starts throwing like multiple interceptions. He's going to try to get greedy and get too cocky. But they play well at home, but not so well for the Cowboys. They're 3-3 in a way. The Ravens and the Jaguars. I don't know what the status is with Trevor Lawrence, how healthy he is, but I tell you what, the Baltimore Ravens, they know how to turn up the volume, turn up whatever it is that they're doing, okay? And they're winning. They've won 3 in a row, beating Cincinnati, the Chargers, and the Rams. But the Jaguars are suffering. Two straight games they lose, very close ones. It seems like they don't know how to take over the lead or finish the game. But it's going to be rough because the Ravens, they have the speed and that defense is nasty. And if they hit Trevor Lawrence, we might be seeing a backup quarterback for the Jaguars. But Hector and I, we agree, the Ravens. And lastly, Monday Night Football, the Eagles versus the Seahawks. Do you think this is a bounce back game? I got a feeling that the Eagles will come back after they lose 3 in a row. That's what's up. Yeah, the Seahawks are in a 4-game losing streak, but sooner or later, they got to find that win. And being that they're home, I got a feeling this is it. This is going to be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to overtime. I'm liking this. I really am. Okay. Now, Hector and I, we don't agree with this. He believes that, yeah, Eagles lost. They're going to come back. But it's just something about that offense is not clicking. Think about it. And I noticed it even against Buffalo. And, Buffalo doesn't really have a solid defense. Okay. But if you look at it, the Eagles, they beat Kansas City 21-17. That's just 21 points. Okay, yeah, great game. You're talking about Kansas City Chiefs, right? Got it. But last year, the Eagles were just scoring left and right, right? You breathe, they scored. They barely touched the ball, they scored. This year, not so much. And as the weeks gone by, their scoring gets less and less and less. A lot of 3 and outs, a lot of runs not, and there's a lot of risk of going 4th down. I don't think the Eagles offense are healthy enough. And that is why I got a feeling that the Seahawks could snap their 4-game losing streak and win. They can. And I'm saying that they will. I got a feeling. Woo-hoo. That's right. I really do. And that's my picks. That's my picks. So I have the Eagles and the Cowboys losing. Yet I still have the Eagles and the Cowboys in a tie. And like my brother says, Hector says, Eagles will regain the number 2 seed. Eagles are going to get their number 2 seed, even if the Eagles and Cowboys finish in a tie, just because if the Eagles win out in their own division, that's a tie, and it goes to the conference record where the Eagles will beat the number 2 seed. That's what it looks like. And there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our picks. And if you missed our show earlier, on college football, tune in to All Four Down. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And once again, Obi-Wan here, going solo, but not for long, because next week I have my boy back, Hector, loud and proud. Just say that I am the greatest. Oh, yeah. Just kidding. Just kidding. But I am, excuse me, I am humble. I'm motivated and confident that I got him this week. He got me this week, but I'll get him. I will get him. And as for you guys, go get him. Go watch your football. You gotta love football. And that is it. Happy holidays, everybody. Take care. You've been watching All Four Downs.